Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Chase. So we're going to start this video slightly different than our other videos. I presented this question to CT. I have definitive thoughts on this, but I'm curious if others feel the same. Which asset provides cleaner price action? And if you could only choose one to trade for the next year, which would it be? And with 3,246 votes, Bitcoin won by 52.3% to Ethereum's 47.7%. Well, this question didn't say which asset do you like more. Which asset are you more confident about in the long term? It asked strictly about cleaner price action. And while I understand that many people have different strategies and different techniques on the market, I tend to think that the large majority of my following is here to learn. Otherwise, if you're a confident trader, etc., you probably don't spend too much time looking at other people's analysis. I know I don't. So I think that the response on this question is either misguided or people just want to vote for Bitcoin because they like Bitcoin better. With that said, my take is that Ethereum is by far the cleaner asset to trade. In my ranking, it goes ES first, and then ETH, and then Bitcoin. But we're talking about strictly crypto here. And I'm going to show you a couple examples. Now, again, I understand other people may have other strategies. People may use moving averages. They may use whatever you want to say. But personally, for me, I use a support and resistance and liquidity-based technique or strategy, whatever you want to say. And we'll go through a couple of these. And I tried not to cherry pick anything. I tried to go over trades that I actually either called or had very succinct ideas about on Twitter. So we'll start. So one of the first ones I outlined was the weekly SR flip of Ethereum. So I had called this on Twitter. So we don't even need the box here really. Just you could just see how clean it was from the line. So when Ethereum broke out, it had a clean SR flip right here. Just clean, perfect. Bitcoin, no SR flip. So that's your first sign. Just a weekly high time frame support and resistance flip. Ethereum printed perfectly clean. Posted this one on Twitter. I know a lot of you guys caught this one. Bitcoin, on the other hand, nothing. Not only nothing, but even if you raised it up to here, you still got nothing. You just had to buy and pray somewhere or find a different setup within this consolidation. Whereas on the Ethereum chart, the weekly SR flip worked perfectly. Moving forward, we're still on the weekly chart. Looking at Ethereum on the weekly chart, there was an obvious liquidity level right here that I didn't short. You know why I didn't short it? Because of Bitcoin. Because I'm saying, well, isn't Bitcoin going to run liquidity as well? I really thought that Bitcoin would be moving up to here, and I'm wondering what is the ETH-BTC dynamic and all those things. Basically, the point I'm going to get to, and we're going to talk about it more later, but to be honest, I actually think that Bitcoin has been hindering my ability to trade Ethereum's cleaner price action. I think that Bitcoin is giving signals that are essentially, I don't want to say wrong because the market moves as the market moves, but Ethereum is simply providing the cleaner price action. Just look at this weekly liquidity and instant rejection. Clean, perfect. Bitcoin, on the other hand, just no liquidity tap. Okay, there's another example. Just the liquidity based on the weekly. Moving forward. Ethereum breaks out. Bitcoin breaks out. We form some lows. We have a low here. 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 We want a liquidity sweep before the next move up. On Ethereum, we get a liquidity sweep. On Bitcoin, we're just up here. Now, yes, you could say you come into support and resistance. That's fine. I do agree. But if you're looking for these swing lows, this was clean on Ethereum, and you get a nice move. And where do you get your move to? You get your move to liquidity, the high. So you go from the low to the high. On Bitcoin, you don't get a sweep of the low. You completely rip through the highs. So if you wanted to short liquidity, you probably get stopped or get pushed out of this. Whereas on Ethereum, you get a clean short of liquidity. So eventually Bitcoin does run the low, but it takes literally like 2 months or something to run the low, that you're sitting here thinking, oh, well, I'm never getting a part of this up move. And then we had the USDC crash or whatever it was, and that's when this came. So eventually you do get the sweep, fine. But, on Ethereum, you had perfect sweep, move up, another perfect sweep, move down. And then if you were going to play this sweep, you probably could have played this one too. So you don't really lose too much on Ethereum over here. So again, now we're on a daily time frame, looking at the difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin and seeing Ethereum printing cleaner price action regardless of what Bitcoin is doing here moving forward. This was a trade I called live on Twitter. Ethereum was moving down. I said I was looking to long at 1820. Sweep of the 1820 liquidity right into the daily demand. There it was. You get sweeps. You get strong moves up into daily SR, also into liquidity. Liquidity to liquidity. Took some time, but it did eventually come. And this trade, actually, while I did play this trade up until the 1910 to 1940 area, I actually didn't hold it all the way to liquidity. You know why? Because Bitcoin broke through its support clean as day. So if you zoom in on Bitcoin over here, and I suppose other people can mark their levels differently, and we'll talk about this little liquidity level in a second. People can mark their levels differently, but from what I saw, this was your major consolidation right here. Support and just, forming consolidation in here, tight consolidation. Look at the candle closes. This is from where your move up and your consolidation began. You would think on the way down that this level would be respected. And you know that actually because when this level broke, not only I took the break-even exit, but when this level broke, actually what everyone said was we're going, they're saying we're going back to zero or whatever. Everyone was extremely bearish in here. I actually drew this. I said, oh, we're going to do some bullshit like this. You can check my feed, and I said that. You know how I know that? Because I just have experience as to how Bitcoin trades and how scammy it can be. That was actually my post. It said something about scam. If you look up the word scam in my name, you will find something, me talking, drawing a Bitcoin drawing like this. So again, the reason I didn't hold this trade to liquidity was majorly because I saw Bitcoin make a clean break of support. I thought, well, this isn't going to recover in any meaningful fashion. It looked terrible, even though I thought it was going to scam. So over here, you have clean support, clean liquidity, clean sweep, play it to liquidity. And over here, you have a break of support and major consolidation, weird scam, and then just chopping back and forth. Again, another favorable thing for Ethereum here. You may ask about this liquidity. All I can say is that I feel like I have a lot of experience spotting liquidity levels, and I did not see this low as significant whatsoever. I feel like if you're going to take liquidity, why not just take it all? Why stop here then? Why not just go for here? I don't use any liquidity maps or any, programs or whatever, people use on crypto Twitter. I don't think it's necessary. You guys have seen me spot liquidity on ES and on crypto nonstop and do quite well with that. If you followed me for a while, it's one of my, places where I'm pretty confident in spotting liquidity just with my eyes. I don't need any help. This low doesn't do anything for me. So this is just weird again. What do I have on this one? Oh yeah, so moving forward, Ethereum takes liquidity, goes to liquidity. Guess what happens up here? Ethereum comes up, takes liquidity perfectly cleanly. Perfect rejection. What does Bitcoin do? It's chopping into resistance multiple times. Now, sure, you could have shorted this resistance here. That's your first short. That's clean, high confidence. Second time, it gets a little riskier. Third time, it gets even riskier. Fourth time, you don't really want to be shorting a level fourth or on its fourth or its fifth tap. But yeah, Bitcoin, it breaks through the major support level here, and then it just starts chopping, building this weird trend line. No liquidity taps here, if you wanted to take a liquidity-based trade, Ethereum once again provided you with a perfect trade. This trade I had actually posted in the FOMC video, but I didn't take this one. I can't blame this one on Bitcoin though. I just didn't take this one because I thought it was supposed to come during FOMC, and I didn't think that we'd have the weekend volatility to print this move. What I thought would happen is we would do something like this and then maybe, chop a little higher and then dump as Sunday today or Monday came. That's what I imagined for this trade. But instead it just, clean print of liquidity. And again, I'm not going to blame this one on Bitcoin at all. I do think, this was a little choppy, a little weird with this trendline scenario. I just thought when I looked at ES and I looked at Bitcoin and I said, oh, we're going into the weekend, Bitcoin's consolidating. Why is Ethereum going to print a clean move? Instead, what it's going to do is just consolidate in here and come down. But on any given day, if this was an ES chart, I would play this liquidity level as a short. So it just makes me think. I tend to believe that, not only do I tend to believe that the Ethereum price action is just so much cleaner, but I tend to think that Bitcoin is actually hindering my ability to trade Ethereum. And I think that for the next month or two, that I may just try to exclusively trade the Ethereum chart and not even have the Bitcoin chart open. I don't even think I want to see what Bitcoin is doing, because every time I look at Bitcoin and it's either lagging behind or pushing ahead or simply doing some weird consolidation, rarely is it ever going for clean liquidity. Rarely is it bouncing off clean SR. It just keeps giving these where is it? Well, why are we getting perfect moves over here, nothing over here? Why, perfect sweep, liquidity to liquidity, weekly SR flip, nothing. So why am I looking at this? Because I'm looking at ETH, and even though we took this trade, I'm thinking, well, shouldn't this be coming down as well? Well, maybe ETH is going to go lower. So Bitcoin is affecting the way I'm thinking about ETH, and ETH is just trading cleanly. So why even look at the Bitcoin chart? So that's my plan for the next month or two. That's why I didn't start this video with, today we'll be covering Bitcoin, Ethereum, and ES, because I think that I don't need to cover Bitcoin at the moment. I think that ETH is providing the much cleaner trading opportunities. And historically, I won't say it's always been true. I've had good times with Bitcoin. I think that overall, I don't have it like on a stat sheet or anything, but I think overall, if I'm to think about it, that my long-term Ethereum performance is probably a decent amount better than my long-term Bitcoin performance. And again, I understand that while not everybody will use the strategy that I use, not everybody's focused purely on liquidity and support and resistance. I understand other people use other strategies that may work better with Bitcoin. If you're here learning from me, you most likely enjoy a support and resistance and liquidity-based theory. It's pretty simplistic, and you can typically start getting into trades without studying for years and years. You identify lows and highs, you look for untapped supports and resistance, and you play the reversals. So that's my plan. I'm going to focus on the ETH chart for the next month or two and see how that plays out. I apologize if you really want a lot of Bitcoin analysis, but I don't think it's worth the time. I will briefly take a look at it right here just to appease you before we go somewhere else. Bitcoin, it should come up and take this liquidity. I don't see why not. If it comes down, a lot of liquidity below here, clean SR flip. If we pull up a monthly chart, honestly, anywhere between 25,250, and if we go down to a weekly, we need to go even lower actually. Anywhere in here, and we drag this, boom, like this. See the confluence here, resistance, 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 resistance. Block here before the move up. Anywhere between 25.2 and 24K area should be a buy. If this liquidity is taken first, You can look to play the swing towards here. Again, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if this does go into, say, I've talked about this many times, the 0.5, the 618. This can go into the 35s. I don't see a problem with that. 35 to 25, 25 to 35, something of that nature. If we lose this area in a major way, if we come down, we're closing down here, you probably look for some type of a bounce into here, you play it lower. Knowing Bitcoin, though, it might do this. It could scam. You never know. So you got to watch out for it. In my opinion, it's just not trading that cleanly, guys. I haven't even taken many losses on Bitcoin, to be honest. I haven't taken many losses at all. The real thing is I'm sort of annoyed with it because I feel like it's hindered my success with Ethereum. I feel like I should have a lot more profit these past 2 months with Ethereum, but instead, when I took this trade, I did half risk on Bitcoin in here, and I did half risk on ETH in here. So I only got half position size on this Ethereum long. If I was just playing the Ethereum long, I would have been full size. So it has nothing to do with losing or anything of that nature. I genuinely feel that it's hindering my ability to trade Ethereum at the level that I should be. It's clouding my brain with thinking ETH needs to follow BTC in a certain direction, or I need to get the signal from BTC or the confidence from BTC in order to take an ETH trade. And ETH is showing that it is trading fine on its own. Okay? Simple as that. We're going to close these charts now. That's thoughts on Bitcoin. Still looking for liquidity. Still looking for a bear market rally into the 0.5, into the 618. As long as 24K, 25K holds this area, play it from side to side, whichever side comes first. That's just a swing move. That's it. Outside of that, it's just a lot of chopping here, guys. This is just choppy in general. I've been saying it. There's not really too much to do inside of here. I think catching, like I said, catching this move within here was good. I would have loved to short this. Just caught me on the weekend. Didn't expect it. And that's an anomaly as well, by the way. Crypto does not usually trade cleanly from a liquidity level or cleanly in general on a weekend. Weekends are almost always consolidative in nature. I'm not sure what changed here. It might have been the whole ETH Foundation thing, but I don't really want to use a fundamental cop-out. That's it. Okay, let's move forward. Take a sip of water, hydrate up. Okay, Ethereum, welcome. Let's clear up the chart. Start on the monthly. You guys know we like to zoom out. Start high time frame. Resistance, monthly resistance, 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 resistance. Any retest of this, most likely a buy. You can just see when the monthly candle plows through like this. Don't expect it to hold perfectly, right? If you bid 1678 and it goes into the 15s or something, it doesn't mean it won't leave a wick. Doesn't mean it can't go like this. Doesn't mean it can't leave a wick and then come back up, okay? When you're looking at a monthly time frame or you're looking at a weekly time frame, I feel like a lot of you are trying to be way too precise with what you're doing. I saw someone shorting this liquidity level I talked about in my video. If you were shorting this liquidity level, where's your stop? Your stop has to be above here, the origin of the down move. That's where your invalidation is. It could go anywhere in here. It could go here, it could go here, it could go here. It could go anywhere in here. It could even come up and tap the resistance level, your supply level here. What it shouldn't do is it shouldn't push through the supply. If it pushes through the supply, that means you're invalidated, okay? So when you're looking at weekly and you're looking at monthly charts and whatnot, don't expect perfect snipe entries, and also don't run such tight invalidations and stops that you're getting stopped out on these what are supposed to be swing moves, okay? Continuing to mark this out, liquidity, okay? Swept. Liquidity sweep, maybe move back to support. Monthly liquidity, monthly support, why not? I like that. I like that thought process. That's typically a thought process that I run. Moving downwards, weekly. resistance, your liquidity sweep, little deviation there, moves back up into it. We'll go down into the daily. Liquidity sweep here. You could also have it marked if you go down to a 4-hour. You can say it was actually in here. Again, even if you took a trade on the daily here, that's fine. Daily liquidity, daily SR, your stops up here. You may not be getting the best risk reward at that point, but you have to play the invalidation levels that make sense. 4-hour liquidity, 4-hour invalidation. That's fine. So what do I think is going to happen for Ethereum? Well, I originally had thought that we were going to consolidate on the weekend, sweep this, build back. I didn't expect such a deep retracement. Build back, maybe do something like this, and then go down. And target for downside, if you are looking for shorts, target for downside remains to be the 1760 levels, right around here. You can see all this liquidity built up. Low, 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 okay? You have a lot of lows built up, mostly untapped. Let's get rid of some of these levels, clean this up a bit, so where we're at for now. So liquidity sweep, potentially liquidity to liquidity. For me, since I did not get this short, I'm not looking to, if it comes back up, maybe I'll look to get back in, right? But this was your trade here, 2.73 risk reward. That's good. If you take it from here, you can't. You have under 1 risk reward. We don't want that. So what I could be looking for into the coming week is potentially a second sweep of this level back down below here. That could be your potential trigger right there. Play it to this liquidity down here. Okay, that's a trade of interest for me. Outside of that, I'm also looking to play it from the other side. If we do end up coming down and we trade into the 1760s, I do think we could bounce from here. Whether it's the bounce to 2300, 2400 is the question that I often get. People are looking, as I told you, looking for that 0.5, that 618. Let's draw that out real quick, the bear market rally area up into here. I tend to think that if we are to get up into there, we want to see that monthly SR retested. Let's mark that out real quick and then go back to where we were. That monthly level is where I'd like to see. But if you notice something, let's just look at this in the past. If you notice something, Ethereum's been printing pretty cleanly off of simple daily SR levels with liquidity sweeps. So you had daily SR here, right? You have this consolidation in here. Right here, this down move before this move up. Okay, that's your demand level. And then you had liquidity right below here. Okay, clean. Untested demand. It's demand because it moves us up. It moves the market up. Liquidity here. Untested. So these are the first tests of it. 1 test, 2 test, 3 test, 4 test, 5 test. A lot of tests at this level, which means that we could be breaking through at some point. If we just move it down now, same concept. Mostly untested, correct? Just little tests here, but support before this move up, mostly untested. What do we have built up here? We have liquidity, okay? If we are to push into here, I think it gives a bounce. I tend to think so. It's a trade I'll be looking for. Outside of that, if it continues to go lower, then we look towards our next area of interest, which would be this monthly SR, and also you can mark out this full daily block here. So daily down move before this major move up. You have 1 test here. What we would look for is we would look for a sweep of this liquidity into here, and then this, I think, is sort of the make or break. This is where I think you go up to the 0.5 or higher. And if you don't, I think that's probably bearish, and we probably continue lower. Maybe working into this area, perhaps back into this sort of range you have in here. So I would say if the 16s, high 15s don't hold, you're going down into the 14s. That would be my thought process on that. But again, just to zoom out on this and to make it simple, I'll just mark it out one more time for everybody. Monthly SR, liquidity, okay, you could take that level from the weekly, you could take it from the daily, etc., etc. A little deviation here of the liquidity level. Often when that happens, you're going for liquidity on the other side, or you're going for support on the other side. To me, that looks like the 1760s. But we're not ruling out one additional sweep here, because that was my initial thought process, is to consolidate the weekend, move back up into here, and then make the move down. So I won't be ruling that out. Looking for this move, looking for that, right into there. That could be your entry trigger, playing to the 1760s. If we break through here, looking for this level here. This level could send us higher. That is my plan. Mostly weekly, daily levels, liquidity areas, and looking to trade those on Ethereum. Okay. Anything else to talk about? We can quickly talk about the Pepe thing now that it's wrapping up. I think I talked about it a decent amount on Twitter, but I'll make it clear on here, right? So here's the thing. First off, if you're a trader, or if you're really trying to become a trader, your focus is probably not on the meme coins. You shouldn't be jealous of people who catch these moves or anything of that nature. They're on a completely different path than you. While there's always been substantial gains in crypto, and especially in these smaller micro cap coins, a lot of it is a flash in the pan. And what I mean is that for every Pepe, there's 1 million coins that have rugged. So you can't look at it as a viable long-term strategy. It's just simply not, in my opinion. Maybe unless you have very strong knowledge of how contracts work and you're constantly digging through that stuff. I'm not saying you can't build skills in those areas, because I think you can, but you really just have to pick your path in this game. It's not how it used to be, where you just come in and you trade easy price action. Oh, there's a rising wedge. Okay, let's short it. That's how it used to be. Here comes a brand new listing to Cryptopia. I called it on CT. It went 50x. I had called a 50x back in the day. It was called GPU. Okay, let me take a sip. So I think that's what it is. I think a lot of people get way out of sorts. There was no reason to be even shorting it for the most part while everyone was going crazy. There hadn't even been a break in market structure yet on the high time frame. I believe there is now. I think I looked at it and it looks a little ugly. But again, I just don't care. What do I need to be? Now, don't get me wrong, that volatility can be good to trade. But just trade it long until you see a high time frame break in market structure. Okay, we know what that looks like. I draw it out all the time. You're making higher highs, you're making higher lows, you're making higher highs, and eventually you're looking for the previous high's low to get broken through. That's your break in market structure, okay? The previous high's low. You make a new high, you break through the previous high's low, and there's your market structure break. You'll see people label it MSB. They get a retracement up in either to the market structure break, or they get a retracement into the consolidation that caused the market structure break, and one of those levels typically provides a further rejection. Okay, there's market structure break 101. Outside of that, again, there's, staying in your lane, okay? There's just, people just go way too crazy over this shit, guys. Keep your head on your shoulders, take a deep breath, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna, if you want to gamble on a meme coin in the future, go ahead. Just throw. All you gotta do is throw $50 or $100 at it. You don't even have to be, rich. You don't have to be well off. And that's also how you know that a very small amount of, we're talking sub 1%, sub 0.1% of the people really capture these full moves. Because if you're talking about, your larger influencers on crypto Twitter, let's be honest, they probably all have at least, I want to say everyone has at least 100K or more, right? You would think, unless it's just complete LARPing. There's no sufficient liquidity to throw 100K into Pepe when the price was low and gave 7,000x returns or whatever it gave, 1,000x returns. I don't know what it was, 700x returns. Anyway, so a lot of the people who try to hop on the bandwagon and they're, they're just, constantly using Pepe hashtag and, showing that they made, maybe they made a 2x or maybe they made a 3x or a 4x. That's fine, but they didn't make life-changing money. You're not the only person on crypto Twitter who didn't make life-changing money off of Pepe. In fact, it's actually the opposite. There's so few people who made life-changing money on Pepe because there are literally people who threw like $100 into it on a whim, just browsing contracts, and they sort of just got lucky. Maybe there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 skilled people in there who really caught it early. And hell, if you're out there, send me a DM next time. I'll throw 500 into something, no problem. I'm very interested in that. But that's how it is. So don't hate on them. Don't be jealous of them. Everyone gets lucky sometimes. I've been lucky before. Shout out to the people who made big money on it. You shouldn't be revenge shorting it right away. That price action is often clean to play for 2-3 days. Take advantage of new listings. Price action is often fairly clean. And outside of that, like I said, more focus on ETH, more focus on ES. Just to quickly look at ES, where I need to wrap this up, but you have liquidity down here, another low, excuse me. You have liquidity to the upside. You're seeing a 40-day consolidation in here. I wouldn't be surprised if I can't draw a line, man. I wouldn't be surprised if we're building up to maybe push above here, something of that nature, and then we finally go for the liquidity down here. That is my just base case for now, but we'll come back to this in a future video or on Twitter. As always, these videos are sponsored by PrimeXBT and also Bybit. You can find my links in the description below. You sign up and deposit on there. Greatly appreciate it. It keeps these videos coming for free. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Please leave your comments and your thoughts in the comment section. Like and retweet on Twitter, like on YouTube, get the algo going, all that great stuff. Try to get my material and my educational content out to more people if you believe it is worthwhile of being seen, especially by newcomers and whatnot who are often very lost in the game. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, and have a great week.